Ask and you shall receive. I recently had a request to make more videos on vintage computers, and it just so happened the very next day, my coworker brought this in. He found it in the trash and thought I should own it. I didn't turn him down. So here it is. This is not an original IBM XT. It looks like one, but it's not. This is an SCC personal computer, basically a generic white box clone, 1980s style. So the deal is, way back in the day, there were computer shops sprouting up all over the country. And in every city, it seemed, there was one in every street corner. And what they provided was a service. They would build custom PCs to your specification. You'd walk in and say, I need a computer for word processing, spreadsheets, etc. And they would build you something in your price range that would do the job. And in most cases, it would be basically comprised of Taiwanese components, a Taiwanese motherboard and some variant of a hard drive, 1 or 2 floppy drives, basically, whatever you needed for the application that you were running on it. In the 1990s, the popularity of these custom shops exploded. More people than ever wanted to own their own computers. They would remortgage their houses and plunk down $2,000-$3,000 on a custom-built 486 or 386 PC that the whole family could enjoy. And this was especially popular during the multimedia era, when CD-ROM drives and sound cards became commonplace. Once you integrated those two key components, your home computer could be used for entertainment purposes for the children. When I was a kid, in 1989, I was 5 years old, and my dad brought home a Tandy 1000. For what he paid for that computer, he could have actually had something decent. But we bought a computer that was essentially completely obsolete, and it never got any use. Yeah. So what we have here is one of those old white boxes. This probably dates back to 1988, 89, or 90. I don't know its actual age. Maybe we'll find some clues. I've already removed the screws, and we're going to just pop the case off. Unfortunately, a good working CGA monitor, which is what this would use, is unobtainium at this point, and I can't find one anywhere. I've even looked on eBay. There's one for sale. The guy wants like $400,000 for it. The good news is, eventually, I can spend the money and buy a CGA to VGA. Let's call it an adapter. It's more of an interface that'll accept multiple inputs and output a VGA signal. And I could use one of those to test this out. But I do know it doesn't run. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. So let's look at what we have here. We have a very typical off-the-shelf 8088 based motherboard. It has a, wow, it looks like every RAM socket is populated. There are no option ROMs installed. Basic 1, Basic 2, Basic 4. Oh, there's the BIOS chip way down there. It is a Mitsubishi BIOS chip. Processor is over here. You can actually see it right back there. It's got that blue sticker on it. Can you see that? It is, let's see, who makes that chip? Usually I find these with either Siemens or AMD chips in them. Oh, God! It's heavy. Jesus. It looks like a... Let's grab a little mag light here and take a look. It has an NEC 8088. There is no coprocessor, right? See that empty socket right there? That's a coprocessor socket, and it's empty. So this might have about 640 kilobytes of RAM, I believe, and it will have a 4.77 megahertz Intel 8088 processor, or equivalent. And what else we got here? Let's see, we have some controller cards. This massive card, that is our VGA card. It also features a serial output port on it, and it has half of a CGA video cable connector attached to it. We're going to remove that. Somebody ripped the cable right off of it. I can't believe that. But, you know. There, take that off. So yeah, we've got all that. Ooh, I just thought of something. No, that monitor's gone. I think I know someone who may still have a monitor, but I think it might have been discarded. It just popped into my head a minute ago. I'll have to give the guy a call. It was a monitor that I actually had when I was a kid, and I gave it to my friend because he needed one. Or no, we traded something for it. And it was in the closet in his main upstairs hallway as recently as last year, and I think I may have grabbed it and determined it was bad, and I threw it out. Yeah, well, anyway. So this is it. So we have a giant VGA and serial controller card. We also have, or is that parallel? I forget. No, that's parallel. I'm sorry, that's parallel. Serial is the other way around. We have a real-time clock card. I can tell that's what it is because there's a CMOS battery on there, or a clock battery on that card. Now this this serves as a real-time clock. And what else? It actually has a serial and a parallel port on it, and it also has a 15-pin port that does something that I don't know what it does. Yeah, it's a 15 DB15. I don't know what it's for. It could be for a joystick, but probably not. I don't know. They've used those connectors for a bunch of different things over the years. It could be a proprietary interface, for crying out loud. It just seems like an odd combination. Over here we have our disk drive controller card. And that goes to the disk drive. Oh, I'm sorry. This card right here is also our hard drive interface. And, wait a minute. Something doesn't add up here. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. This is our disk drive interface. Okay. This is our ST225 hard drive controller. And here is our ST225 hard drive. There we go. Okay, now I think we're getting somewhere. The hard drive that this actually has is probably a 30 megabyte Seagate ST225 compatible card. Drive. And the controller. See if there's any information on there. It's for manufacturer. I think it's a real Seagate controller. Generally, in those days, when you bought a hard drive, you bought the controller with it. Because motherboards didn't have controllers on board, you actually had to add those. It wasn't until about, the 386 era when motherboards started including drive controllers on board. For the most part, if you have basically a build-your-own kit here, you would have some kind of a third-party controller, generally one that came with the hard drive. I actually have 2 of these drives in my possession in working condition. It's actually kind of funny because I found a very similarly built system several years ago. It was in the same style case, only the faceplate was severely damaged. So what I did is I scrapped it. I took all the boards out of it and kept them. I still have them upstairs. And because I knew at some point I would build another XT, or I'd get one that needed parts. Well, that time has come. This machine does not boot. And I'm going to show you what So who wants to hear it run? I do. Okay. Couple of things. So this is an 8088 PC XT. It does not have a BIOS menu, but it does have a power on self-test. It checks the RAM, it checks for drive state, and that's about as far as it goes. The hard drive does nothing but flash once it reaches that point. I could pop in a floppy disk and see if it boots off of it. I actually have some spare floppy disks with MS-DOS on them. But I'm going to wait until I have a monitor or some way to connect it to a VGA monitor. I may actually buy one of those adapters or converters. But anyway, for now, all we're going to basically do is power it up, and I'll show you what I'm getting out of it. We've got the keyboard hooked up. This is a very typical Clone XT keyboard. A lot of these had non-standard key layouts, while they were a little unusual. You'll find that there's an Alt key over here, caps lock over here, which should be like right there. There's a power key that does nothing. It's just a power indicator. That's all it does. Most XT Clone keyboards had power lights on them, at least the ones I've seen. We have our arrow keys here, typical of every other XT, and a dead key in the middle. We also have the same repeated pattern of arrow keys over on this side, and this is different. This numlock key and the cursor pad key operate independently of each other. Really strange. This keyboard was made by BTC, as far as I know, a company called Behavior Tech Company. It was made in Taiwan when Taiwan was a Republic of China. Actually, I think it still is. It actually has a lifting mechanism. You can flip those down so the keyboard has a nice tilt and slant. We've got everything here except a monitor, so let's see what we can do with it. Once it finishes the memory count, you'll hear a beep. And then it'll do the drive A seek. At that point, there it goes, the hard drive just blinks. You know something? You know what? I think I'm going to try it. If you look down in there, you can actually see the drive spindle is running. And that is normal during the initial boot up seek test, or seek. I have a disk drive cleaning disk. I'm going to run through it first. Remember, I have a rule of thumb. If you have a machine that is of questionable origin, always clean the disk first. This bottle's still sealed. Unseal it. Before sticking a valuable disk in the drive, you want to make sure it gets cleaned first. Some of this older media cannot be replaced if it's lost. I'm not taking that chance. That's enough. I got lucky. I actually found this at Savers. Goodwill for $1. It's a 5¼ inch cleaning kit. These are you just can't find these anymore. It's got replaceable pads and everything. You got the original cleaning solution bottle. It was sealed, as you just saw. And this is interesting. This disk will clean both single and double-sided disk drives. And that's actually pretty good because for an Apple II, for example, which uses single-sided drives, if you put this in, it'll rip up the pressure pad on the other side. So this is a good little find right here. Alright. I'm going to pop in another disk just to make sure there's no... This disk is no good. It actually was bad. Fresh out of the package, too. Okay. That's good enough. Alright. Oh, here we go. This is MS-DOS 3.3. I've had this disk for most of my life. Let's see if it does anything. See if it eats it up. Yeah. Let's try, I don't hear any activity. It may have timed out. Gotta wait for that drive to spin down. Still going. Still going. Still going. Okay, that's it. Try it again. Let's do the memory countdown. I'm going to pop this into drive B too. Oh. Yes, I don't think it's doing anything. I'll have to manually yeah. This doesn't it's booting. It's booting. Alright, let's hit the return key twice. Date and time. Let's do it at A, colon, return. Okay, let's try C, return. It's actually booted. I don't know what's on the screen though, I can't tell. I don't know if I'm at a DOS prompt or some shell or something. I really can't tell. Let's see. We're basically operating this computer blind. Let's see. Let's do a DIR. Okay, we are at a DOS prompt. Okay. Let's do a drive B seek. Watch this. We're going to run this thing blind. Oops. B colon return. Nothing. DIR. Oh, it did. It did it. Sweet. Okay. Drive B. That worked. All right, let's try this. C colon return DIR. No. All right, let's go return a few times. Go to A. No, now we're stuck. Stuck in B. It's doing. Oh, we have to fail it. F return. A colon DIR. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go to C. I'm being hard on the keys because this keyboard's been pretty touchy. I can. DIR. No, it's still in drive A. I could try to run F-disk, but I'm not going to do that without a monitor. So this looks good. This is promising. It's no longer doing that random blinkiness. And I was able to switch from drive A to B, no problem. It's that damn C drive. Let's try, no, there must be a problem with the drive. It's not acknowledging it. Yeah. I've tried using Windows without a mouse, but trying to use DOS without a monitor is a bit more challenging for my tastes. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. There will be more to come once I obtain some kind of video source. I mean, well, destination. We have a video source. It's right there. We know the machine boots up. We know it reads floppy disks. We know that much. So I don't think it'd take very much to get this sucker up and running again fully. So for now, we're gonna mothball this thing. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Don't go away.